Does someone having a certain amount of flaws mean that they no longer have the right to exist, or they never had the right to exist? This may sound like a both a ridiculous question and also a question that seems eerily familiar. Probably both. Um, the basis for what I'm talking about right now is golden child syndrome. Is based on the idea that in order for there to be value to someone, they have to be extremely, unbelievably, unfathomably above average. If they are not, if they are not, they cease to be. So it's not only that their existence has to be maintained, through acts of exceptional work or performance, but literally their existence ceases to be ceases to be if they are not performing at an above average or excellent rate. Why? How does this happen? My friends, this is indeed a long story. At the root of a desire to constantly prove that you are exceptional, that you are above average, that you have talent beyond what someone else has, is self-hatred. Self-hatred. Narcissistic parents have self-hatred and they pass it on to their children and they teach them to hate themselves. And I've heard it from more than one narcissist, this exact same phrase. You have to justify. You have to justify your own existence. Which brings me to a great resource channel called Permission to Exist, which I expect you all to check out. Be very careful. Because you are a great example of someone's philosophy of life, whether it be your parents or your teachers or your friends You're always living according to some sort of doctrine, and you have to pay attention to what it is. There is so much more on this that I can't cram into a few minutes. But it's always important to know that at the root of narcissism is self-hatred. Now, the reason for the weird title is narcissists have this weird thing where they think that in order, what they have to do, because they hate themselves so much, is they have to build themselves up so much that they minimize somebody else so much, that they put somebody down so much, that they almost like de-existence someone else in order to gain an extra level of existence. It's like soul murder. I mean, that's what I've heard it described as. They're trying to murder your soul. They're trying to murder your soul. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to succeed, okay? But it just means, like, this is where their head's at. And keep it in mind. Through this depersonalization, dissociation, mind control. If I get you to forget yourself, now I've got you. Now I've got your brain. I can input a program into your brain, and I can tell you to do whatever I want you to do. And you'll be doing it before you know what you're doing or why. Now, if you're with a really good hypnotist, they will do that, but they will do it with something that's very, very positive. So you get your brain going in the right direction, which is a good thing. But either way, the point is, the brain has the ability to exist on several levels. And one of the levels is the subconscious intake of other people's intentions. Now, the problem with the golden child scapegoat phenomenon is it's a necessity. It's a necessity. I need you to hate yourself. I didn't come across you and find that you hated yourself and say, well, that's interesting. And I needed you to, because I need you to hate yourself so that I can stop hating myself. No. Then we call that self-love. No. That's narcissism. Now. Take a deep breath. Slow down. Does that mean that we turn things around and make the golden child into the scapegoat, the golden child being the narcissist, or the narcissist in training, or the narcissist kin, or the narcissist lineage? Do we turn them into the scapegoat because of the fact that we realize this abuse? Be careful. The minute you turn them into the scapegoat, you're buying into it again on another level. You're flipping it around. And you're still in the same paradigm. Therefore, the solution and the way out is you have to learn to accept your flaws and love yourself. See people around you as people who are struggling with that same situation, no matter what their circumstances are. And if you want to, you can try to help them accept themselves and accept their flaws and love themselves. If you want to. Or you could just let them do it, because there's something about just you doing it yourself that will create a ripple effect. So the basis of narcissism is self-hatred. Be aware that anybody you're scapegoating, anytime you're scapegoating, you might even do it without thinking. Scapegoat, just like it turns on. It's a survival thing. Find that person who's being scapegoated. Find that person who's being scapegoated. In your mind. Make sure you're not participating in the scapegoating. Make sure you are not letting it cause you to become an abuser of the scapegoat. At the very least, continue the practice of self-love. At the very least. But really, what we're trying to evolve toward is helping people love themselves. Get a grip. Somebody having flaws does not make them more or less worthy of their own existence. Get a grip. Scapegoating someone is not a way out of your own self-hatred. Get a grip. Self-love. Teaching others to love themselves. Is the way out. And be aware not to turn the narcissist into the scapegoat and participate again. In a different way. Events are not personal. Problems are not personal. We personalize things because we're self-conscious creatures. We're self-conscious. Because we're selfish. We're scared for our own survival, the survival of our families. Beware. Anyone that's trying to make you hate yourself, understand why they're doing it.